All right, so you have all of this data coming into your operations log. Sometimes you may not want all of it, or at least want all of it in this location. You want it somewhere else. So let's take a quick look, shall we? All right, so if we were to take a quick look at log management, I want to show you 3 key areas that I think is of interest to you. One of them is log filtering. What if you're getting a whole bunch of logs, a whole bunch of data, but some of it may not be relevant, may not be important? Let's say, for example, you've got a testbed environment that your team is currently working on that is going to spew a lot of data, a lot of logs that you really don't want. So what you could do is you can go into the log filtering section, right? Call it, let's say, for example, testbed, right? And then if you know the servers, clusters, you can actually type it in here, and as soon as you do that, you enable, you notice that it automatically drops all of that data, right? Now, keep in mind, if it's something important to you that you know you need at a later date, you may want to delete it after the fact. But let's say, for example, for now, you just want to quiet the noise so you can concentrate on more pressing matters, all right? So that's one piece. The second piece is log forwarding. It doesn't matter if you build your log, your operations for log big enough to ingest everything. Sometimes there is a requirement to send it elsewhere. It could be to a different operations for log, for example, a primary to a DR to a primary, or it could be that you have a mandate to send to yet another product. It doesn't matter. What you could do is you could actually send it, set up the destination, right? You could put it a name, whatever the name could be. It could be elk. You need to send to elk. Put in the server, define which type you want to use. Read our documentations to get as much detail as you need to in order to pick the right choice for you, right? Enable or disable SSL. I would always recommend adding in a tag. For the previous examples that I did, a primary site sending to a DR, what you do is location equals prime, or location equals DR. That way, when it lands into the other locations, when you do the search within operations for log, for example, you can identify which log is the primary, which log set is the DR site, okay? And then last but not least, reality is it doesn't matter how big of a storage you set up, right? You could have one default storage, or you could have multiple storages based on, what you want to pull data in. And even if you only have a few sources, reality is you're gonna eat up all of the disk. So what happens, of course, is first in, first out. So you get the data, and when it hits the threshold, some of the older stuff will start to go away to give space for the new stuff. So what you could do here, of course, is you can actually set this up, and you can actually set up an archive location. Now, it has to be an NFS location, and it needs to be able to be written by this particular server, or at least this particular VIP, right? By doing that, what happens is instead of it being deleted from the operations for log, it gets archived to that location, right? So that way you will have a longer history of all your data. Now, there is a caveat. Unfortunately, with that data, you can't bring it back to the original server. You'd have to deploy a new operations for log, ingest it there, and search it there, all right? But at least you have an option. All right, hopefully that helps you understand some of the options you have when it comes to log management.